In the volatile waters of the South China Sea, the collision that occurred on August 31st, 2024, at Sabina Shoal served as an unintended yet rigorous stress test for Japanese naval engineering. The violent impact involving the Philippine Coast Guard vessel BRP Teresa Magbanua and a significantly larger China Coast Guard ship marked a pivotal moment in the maritime security landscape of the Indo-Pacific. While the political ramifications were immediate, a technical and strategic analysis reveals a deeper narrative regarding the efficacy of Japanese official development assistance and the durability of Mitsubishi shipbuilding hardware under combat-like conditions. The BRP Teresa Magbanua, also designated as MRRV 9701, is not merely a foreign asset operating in distant waters. It represents the flagship of the Maritime Safety Capability Improvement Project Phase 2, a strategic initiative funded by the Japan International Cooperation Agency. Constructed at the Shimonoseki shipyard of Mitsubishi Shipbuilding, this vessel is a direct derivative of the Kunigami-class patrol ships operated by the Japan Coast Guard. The Kunigami class was specifically designed to withstand the rough seas surrounding the Senkaku Islands and to engage in high-friction maneuvering against foreign intrusions. By exporting this specific design to the Philippines, Tokyo effectively duplicated its own maritime policing capabilities in the South China Sea without deploying its own personnel. The procurement of the Teresa Magbanua and its sister ship, the Melchora Aquino, was financed through a loan of approximately 16.5 billion Japanese yen under the Special Terms for Economic Partnership Program. This financial vehicle requires the recipient nation to source prime contractors and materials from Japan, ensuring that Japanese taxpayers' money supports domestic heavy industry while simultaneously bolstering regional security architecture. The vessel measures approximately 97 meters in length, making it the largest asset in the Philippine Coast Guard fleet, with a standard displacement of roughly 2,260 tons. It is equipped with Japanese-made radar systems and a reinforced hull structure designed to standard Japanese naval specifications. The operational capabilities of this investment were put to the ultimate test during the prolonged standoff at Sabina Shoal, known locally in the Philippines as Escoda Shoal. The Teresa Magbanua was deployed to the area in April 2024 to monitor suspected reclamation activities. The deployment turned into a 5-month marathon of endurance, surpassing the typical operational window for vessels of this class. The situation escalated dramatically on August 31st, 2024, when the China Coast Guard vessel 5205, a Zhaozhou-class cutter with a displacement of over 4,000 tons, executed aggressive maneuvers against the Philippine ship. Video footage and subsequent damage assessments indicate that the Chinese vessel, which is nearly double the displacement of the Japanese-built ship, intentionally rammed the Teresa Magbanua 3 times. The physics of such a collision are unforgiving. A direct impact from a 4,000-ton object moving at speed delivers kinetic energy capable of shearing through standard commercial-grade steel. The collision resulted in a significant hole in the starboard side of the Teresa Magbanua, deformation of the bulwark, and structural damage to the bridge wing. However, critical analysis of the aftermath highlights a significant engineering victory for Mitsubishi Shipbuilding. Despite the disparity in weight and the severity of the repeated impacts, the hull integrity of the Teresa Magbanua remained compromised but functional. Naval architects and defense analysts note that the use of high-tensile steel and the specific framing techniques employed in the Kunigami-class lineage prevented catastrophic structural failure. In many maritime collisions involving vessels of disparate sizes, the smaller ship often suffers a breach below the waterline or structural warping that disables the propulsion shaft. In this instance, the Teresa Magbanua maintained buoyancy, stability, and propulsion capabilities. The engines continued to function, and the vessel remained maneuverable. This survival capability suggests that the shipbuilding standards applied to Japan Coast Guard vessels, which prioritize resilience and ramming resistance, were faithfully transferred to the export unit. However, a multidimensional critique of the event requires looking beyond the steel. While the hardware succeeded, the incident exposed the limitations of logistical endurance in asymmetric maritime conflicts. The Teresa Magbanua was eventually forced to withdraw from Sabina Shoal on September 15, 2024. This retreat was not dictated by the mechanical failure of the Japanese-built hull, but by the exhaustion of supplies and the physical deterioration of the crew after months of blockade, which prevented resupply missions. This distinction is crucial for Japanese policymakers. The hardware provided via official development assistance proved robust enough to survive direct kinetic aggression, but hardware alone cannot sustain a presence without a logistical support chain that is equally resilient. From a return on investment perspective for the Japanese public, the Teresa Magbanua incident offers a compelling case study. The sea lanes passing near the Philippines are the same arteries through which energy imports and manufactured exports flow to and from Japan. By equipping the Philippines with a vessel capable of absorbing distinct physical blows from a major regional competitor, Japan effectively maintains a forward observation and deterrence post far from its own shores. The cost of repairing the Teresa Magbanua is arguably a fraction of the cost required to deploy a Japan Coast Guard vessel to the same region, a move that would carry significantly higher diplomatic risks and potential for direct military escalation. Furthermore, the performance of the Teresa Magbanua acts as a live-fire demonstration of Japanese defense technology. In a global arms market dominated by cost-effective alternatives from other nations, the ability of a Japanese ship to endure a collision with a significantly larger adversary serves as a powerful marketing narrative for the durability of Japanese engineering. It validates the high initial cost associated with Japanese naval contracts, positioning them as investments in survivability rather than mere procurement of floating assets. Nevertheless, the incident also invites criticism regarding the sustainability of this strategy. The reliance on the Philippines as a proxy for maritime security places Japanese technology in the crosshairs of an increasingly assertive superpower. There is a reputational risk involved if a Japanese-supplied vessel were to be sunk or captured in future engagements. Additionally, the repair of the Teresa Magbanua requires technical expertise and parts that may necessitate further Japanese involvement, potentially drawing Tokyo deeper into the operational cycle of the Philippine Coast Guard than originally intended. The collision at Sabina Shoal was more than a maritime accident. It was a violent validation of the strategic partnership between Tokyo and Manila. The Teresa Magbanua, bearing the scars of the Zhaozhou-class ramming, returned to port as a battered but floating testament to the quality of the Shimonoseki shipyard. For the Japanese defense industry, the takeaway is clear. The demand for vessels capable of withstanding gray zone tactics and direct physical coercion is rising. The Teresa Magbanua proved that Japanese steel can hold the line, but it also highlighted that in the war of attrition characterizing the South China Sea, durability must be matched by logistical endurance. As the Philippines considers the acquisition of 5 additional units of this class, the data derived from the August 31st incident will likely shape the design modifications of the next generation of patrol vessels, potentially leading to even more heavily reinforced hulls designed specifically for the rough demands of 21st century maritime territory disputes.